Greetings to everyone. So today we are going to deal with hazardous waste management and handling rules uh, amended in 1989. So as per the definition, it is hazardous waste means any waste which by reason of any of its physical, chemical, reactive, toxic, flammable, explosive, or corrosive characteristics causes danger or is likely to cause danger to health or environment, whether alone or when in contact with other wastes or substances, and shall include waste listed in the column 3 of Schedule 1, waste having constituents listed in Schedule 2, if their concentration is equal to or more than the limit indicated in the said schedule, and waste listed in List A and B of Schedule 3, Party A, applicable only in cases of import or export of hazardous wastes in accordance with Rules 12, 13, and 14. Okay. So that is the definition of the hazardous. Then, if is it excluded from hazardous waste management rules? If it is yes, then it will be non-hazardous. If it is no, then is it from 36 processes listed in Schedule 1? Yes, then it is hazardous. Then is it containing substances listed in Schedule 2 above the limits? Yes, then it is hazardous. And is it exhibiting 14 hazardous characteristics listed in Schedule 3? Yes, it is hazardous. No, it is non-hazardous. So this is the classification of the hazardous waste as per the Hazardous Waste Management and Handling Rules 1989 as amended in 2003 in India. Okay. Now coming to the rules and amendments. So waste falling in any of the categories described in the Hazardous Waste Management and Handling Rules 1989. So, in 18 categories and regulatory quantities have been specified. In 2000, the amendment rules were 44 processes with waste streams, that is Schedule 1, and 5 classes of waste substances with regulatory concentration limit, Schedule 2. Okay. Then class labels A1 to A20 greater than or equal to 50 mg per kg. Class B was greater than or equal to 5000 mg per kg. Then they have been given like this. Okay, so if the regardless of the concentration limit, example flammable gases, etc. Then hazardous waste management rules 2003 that specified around 36 processes with waste category schedule 1, 5 classes of waste substances with regulatory limit. So this goes on increasing in the years to change. Okay. Then rule 5, that is grant of authorization for handling hazardous waste. So authorization to be obtained by the occupier or operator of the facility for collection, reception, treatment, storage and disposal of hazardous waste in an environmentally sound manner. Okay, then schedules 3 are like this, that is list A, list B. So you have different types of waste in these categories, that is A1 to A4 and then B1 to B4. Then schedule 4, we have non-ferrous metal waste applicable for registration as recyclers. That is 22 categories of non-ferrous metal waste and recyclers of these waste requires registration from CPCB as per Rule 19 of the Hazardous Waste Management Rules. So all this Schedule 8 has been given, that is 29 categories of hazardous waste are prohibited, which includes mercury, beryllium, arsenic, selenium, thallium, right? Mercury. Then we have waste cupric chloride, copper cyanide catalyst, then gypsum. Okay, so contaminated with leaded petrol sludges. Then we have waste thermal fluid, waste nitrocellulose, waste leather containing chromium 6, then waste halogenated organic solvents, waste dairy residues arising from refining, distillation, and pyrolytic treatment of organic materials, then waste contaminated with inorganic cyanides, waste oil or water, then hydrocarbons or water mixtures, and then emulsions. Okay. Then rule 7, that is packaging, labeling, and transport of hazardous waste. So how they have been, how they are giving labeling to these containers and then transportation of these. Okay. And then you have a copy number with color code purpose, that is to be forwarded by the occupier to the State Pollution Control Board or committee, that is copy 1 white in color. Then copy 2 yellow is to be retained by the occupier after taking signature on it from the transporter, and rest of the 4 copies to be carried by the transporter. Then copy 3, that is to be retained by the operator of the facility after signature, which is pink in color. Then copy 4 orange color to be returned to the transporter by the operator of facility after accepting waste. Then copy 5 green to be returned by the operator of the facility to the SPCB after treatment and disposal of waste. Then copy 6, which is blue in color, is to be returned by the operator to the facility to the occupier after treatment and disposal of the waste. So all this have to be taken care of. Okay, and each color signifies something, right? Then, in case of hazardous waste to a facility or a treatment, storage and disposal existing in a state other than the state where hazardous waste are generated, the occupier shall obtain a no objection certificate from the State Pollution Control Board or committee of the concerned state or union territory administration where the facility is existing. So he has to obtain a NOC. How we take NOC from the colleges, right? Similarly there. Then rule 8, that is disposal sites. So this occupier or operator of a facility or any association of occupiers shall be jointly and severally responsible for establishing the facility for treatment, storage and disposal of hazardous waste. Okay? So the state government shall identify site for common hazardous waste disposal facility. So the operator has to, occupier and the operator has to transport this to that site. Okay. Then design and setting up of disposal facilities, then operation and closure of the landfill site. So the occupier or operator shall be responsible for safe and environmentally sound operation of the facility. The occupier or operator shall ensure that the closure of the secured landfill is as per the design approved under Rule 8 by the SPCB. So he has to take care of that. Then import and export of hazardous waste for dumping and disposal. That is, imports of hazardous waste from any country to India and export of hazardous waste from India to any country for dumping or disposal shall not be permitted. So it is not permitted. Right. Then rule number 12, that is import and export for recycling and reuse. So we can go for recycling and reuse, but we cannot permit them. Right? So import of the hazardous waste. These are the rules. Then import, there is approvals, no objection certificates, and authorization from all concerned authorities shall be taken. Right? So all these are the rules which every individual should know it and be aware of it. Okay? Then illegal traffic, the movement of hazardous waste from or to the country shall be considered illegal. Okay? If it is without prior permission of the central government, or if the permission has been obtained through falsification, misrepresentation, or fraud, or it does not conform to the shipping details provided in the document. Okay. So all these are the rules. Then liability of the occupier, transporter, and the operator of a facility. Then procedure for registration and renewal of registrations of recyclers and refiners. So these are the various things which we have to do. Then responsibility of waste generator. Then secured land fill requirements. That is pre-treatment of waste before disposal has to be done. Okay. Proper operation, placement of space, etc. Then you can see criteria for disposal of hazardous waste in a secured landfill. So it is pH is 4 to 12, right? Total phenols less than 100, arsenic, all these amounts, the range is given, okay, right? So this is about our hazardous waste management handling rules. Waste management and handling rules. So I think you have a doubt that why we should learn all these acts, rules, everything, right? So because we are in a society and as an individual, we are responsible for all the pollution and everything. So one should be aware of handling the waste also. Right? So we should know all these things because one day we may set up an industry or a company, and we should know all these rules. Okay, and as an individual, we have to protect our environment as well as our health. So it is the common ethics which we have to follow. Okay? So for that reason, we should be aware of all these environmental policies and legislation acts.